I just only now realized that I forgot to switch the field background music back to the arranged version after I recorded all those heart-to-hearts up in the forest and village. Also, if you hear any sounds apart from my voice, that would be my air conditioner set to quiet mode. And for reference sake, this is what my fan sounds like when it's at full blast. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna switch back to the AC because it's the quieter of the two and it's really hot where I'm at in this part of the world. Hi, I'm CyMaxD, call me Cy or Max, whichever you prefer. And in this episode of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, let's give Satata that medicine we promised to deliver for his granddaughter. Oh, Satata, know that smell? Friends carry secret Nopon elixir. Friends got that back at Frontier Village, am I wrong? Well, well then. She remembers everything Satata taught her about our secret elixir. Tell her not to worry about me. She is capable of finding out secrets of Machna without me. We'll report in later. Because on this episode, I probably just said that already and I'm being redundant, we're going to be helping out the refugees of Colony 6 by helping them get back to their home and beginning the restoration. You know, that piece of side content we could have done since before Machna Forest. I swear there's a good reason for that. How did I forget to register this heart-to-heart? Before we enter the colony proper, I figured we should stop over here since there are two heart-to-hearts. At the Hope Farm, we've got a few collectibles here and there. And some Atmos flyers that really shouldn't be giving us any trouble anytime soon. Okay, get this one heart-to-heart registered, even though we can't do anything with it yet. And same with this one here. And with the main entrance registered, as you can see, the whole place has been absolutely decimated. In fact, if you try to go in right now, my home, I swear we'll reveal it one day, until we should stay away. Not enough meandering around, let's speak to Opharon. We want to rebuild Colony 6 and restore it to its former glory. To do that, we need to move everyone back from the camp. But Ragwell Bridge has been taken in by a pack of ferocious monsters. So now no one can cross it. How worrying. No. Wrong support and not enough hearts. This is like my 8th take. I'll just go with the 4 hearts of Ricky. That bridge is the only way to move the refugees back safely. With them stuck on one side and me on the other, we're all stuck. Can you eliminate the monsters on Ragwell Bridge for us? The road home. It's an interesting quest, partly because it has that limited time icon. The reason for that is if you don't complete this quest before a certain event much later on in the story, it'll be replaced by an alternative version called To Colony 6, with an exclamation point or whatever. It's literally the same quest, but you just get more experience and gold out of it. Anyways, oh, thank you. I knew you would. Just secure the bridge. Once you have done that, inform Juju at the camp. I'll be waiting here. We will begin rebuilding the colony when everyone has returned. I am counting on you. You can count on us, we'll get it done. Now the reason I've been holding off on this quest is because... yeah, it's quite a few boxes. And they hit pretty hard. So we're gonna need to do some preparations before anything else. And now it's time again for the unique monster recap. Honestly, with how many unique monsters we're able to take out since the clearing the Ether Mine, well, if I were to save any more, we'd pretty much have an entire episode dedicated exclusively to that. First up is Drifted Jutard, which can be found by the Pod Depot in the Colony 6 area. Contrary to what the footage you see would imply, Jutard is technically strong, more dangerous than the Hoxes that accompany him. Moving out of the colony and into Stall Marsh, our first unique monster for that area is Stormy Widardin? I think that's how it's pronounced. You'll find him northwest of the Zeldania waterfall, full of a whole flock of Quadwings, but only during the daytime. After that, if you head up to the elevated land that's technically southeast of the crown tree on the map, you'll find Cautious Baltied. One of the few Igna-based unique monsters we'll find. Take out the minions first so that he can't pin your team down with a chain attack and you should be good to go. Speaking of unique Ignas, our next trip takes us southeast of the Silent Obelisk near the Exiled Fortress and backway. Tumultuous Felix is pretty much the same as before. Take out the mooks and then you shouldn't have too much trouble dealing with this humanoid enemy. And it's rinse and repeats for aggressive Cornelius, whom you can find within the Igna territory. And you probably have, considering he's guarding one of the Radiants you need just to get out of the marsh and into the forest. Yeah, speaking of Radiants, near the Altar of Fate where you can find one such key item is Amber Fisher. They only appear when there isn't a thick fog, so be wary of that. As well as pretty much all the other things that these Plummy are capable of doing. You've seen my footage on Enchanting Rune. Maybe. I don't know. East of the Igna territory, by the cliffs that lead up to the riverway, you'll find Swift Zektol amongst the wolves, but only during the daytime. And of course there's Sunlight Schweik. Just wait around the Silent Obelisk during daytime and eventually this menace of a Rogel will swoop down and prove it to be a bit of a challenge. And then, within the heart of the Exiled Fortress is Reckless Godwin. Pretty nah. As far as the unique Igna monsters go, this guy is pretty much the worst of the lot. One piece of advice I can give you is to simply just lure away all of his minions, which is possible, and then take a leader out on his own. When it comes to the Hoxes we're about to face, however, well, if you can defeat Godwin with his entire posse, you see, then you're pretty much good to go. Well, we're not stopping there, because we've got 5 more unique monsters left to go on the list, since they're already taken care of. Well, that was a thing. Oh, and I completely forgot about Clifftop Bay and all the way at the Duxer Shrine in Barnes' leg. We should be at a high enough level now to take care of him. Going back to Mark the Forest, one of the first unique monsters you'll likely find along the main path is Elder Gragas. It's found with a bunch of quad wings northeast of the Nopon Arch. There's always been the numbers before taking on the lead and you should be good to go, although just remember that they don't show up when it's raining. Speaking of unique monsters and weather-based effects, around the X watering hole you'll find Shimmering Forte, the one and only enemy in this game that appears during the heat wave phenomena. For the best results, set the time to around 2 PM and listen carefully in case you can't hear any birdsong. And as well as more blurring for distant objects. I'm stumbling over my words today. Now if we backtrack a bit and head down the main river, you'll find Agile Albatro. If you want to take the quicker route, just go to Bridge 3, jump off into the water, and hope that you can get to land and target him before he targets you. Going on to the eastern side of the forest, we've got Lazy Blue, who shows up with all the other Luca and the yellow flower growth. Fortunately, he doesn't seem to like coming out during the day, but yeah, not bad. Just beware of that topple spike and you should be okay. And finally, if you accept the quest Beat Kalaki to it, you'll be able to access the Hode Lair and take on Obsessive Galgaron. Technically, the first West exclusive unique monster we'll be facing in the game. Just be wary, as once his health goes down below 50%, he will call in 2 Luca to back him up, so yeah. But enough waffling on. Let's have a quick look at the party composition and see how things go. I've got Ricky here with, I don't know why, Quick Step, but I just do. Melia, I've tweaked around with her gear a bit. The main thing I want to use is Aura Heal, so that whenever she's in the first stage, she should be able to survive it a bit better. I just have a feeling she's going to be drawing the aggro with her high Ether damage. And finally, Reyn. This one's honestly a bit of an interesting mess. I've kind of balanced my gear around more of the other party members, but I'll do one quick few readjustments before once we take care of all these quests. As you can imagine, I'm gonna make sure that the first hit we do hits really hard. Night vision is always great because Reyn has by far the worst agility in the game, and anything that we can do to boost his accuracy is a godsend. Spike? Honestly, this is just more of a joke I put in there just to... But yeah, we're going to be focusing mainly on strength for him. As you can see from the other 3, I've got a few empty slots that I'll be filling out once we get a better selection of gems in the future, and also whenever I use them mainly. Now with that, here goes nothing. Keeping close to me, get Berserker and Magnum Charge set up, and let's try and get them all with a War Swing! Are you kidding me? That was nothing! My plan's ruined! Okay, let's try this again! Now that they're all right next to me. War Swing, go! Yeah, why not? You thought I was gonna do extra damage, but nope! What an extra waste of my abilities. Who's got the most HP? Aha! Boom! Oh, yep! It's... If I had Days Resist, I definitely would appreciate it now. Team! Oh! Oh, they were focusing, that's why. And now the real fight is on! After you take out those black smoke boxes, these white ones will just ambush you. As you can see, this fight can be absolutely devastating to anyone who's unprepared. I'll reset the chain. Oh, good thing I did! Now let's get those other two with some nasty poison damage. Ah, gotta love those damage over time effects. Okay. Okay, now you target me again. That was weird. You know what? You take a full boa. No, bam. Anyways, with the Hawk's problem on the bridge cleared out, let's go report to Juju.
Yeah.
You got rid of all the monsters at Ragwell Bridge? Now everyone can go back home to Colony 6. Thank you so much. Going back to Colony 6 will solve all the problems we had here. Once we leave, we won't come back again. Shall we go now? We can wait for you if there are still things you need to do. This is a very important thing to note. And now we're gonna make them wait a little longer. And the reason for that is because I strongly encourage you check your quest log. Every single timed quest you can get on the Bionicus leg at this point in the game will automatically expire the moment all the refugees move back into the colony. So before we complete the road home, make sure that every single one of these timed quests on screen is done. Everything okay? Everything all good? In that case...
Yeah.
Time to head home to Colony 6. Okay, we'll move out right away. We'll need some help to rebuild Colony 6 when we get there. And they save you the trouble by literally skip traveling you all the way to the colony. And these are... Now as for the rewards, these 2 gems are pretty unique. Unfortunately, as I implied when talking about the alternative version of this quest line later in the game, these gems don't go up in value. Still, the crystals needed to find these, well, they're pretty much non-existent, apart from a level 5 variant. Of the 2, I'd say AP Up would definitely be the more useful, considering how many arts each character can learn. And with that, we've unlocked the Reconstruction HQ, which marks the final available landmark here on the Colony 6 area. Well, there are a couple of things we can do here, but I'll save them for next time. If we head back to the refugee camp, you'll notice that Paul's obviously gone, but you'll notice that the shop vendor has remained. If we go into the affinity chart, you'll pretty much see that everyone in this area has basically relocated back home. Everyone, except for Ernest. Kinda makes sense that Ernest doesn't want to go back home. At least not yet. After everything he's been through, guy just needs a break. Speaking of breaks, before we wrap up today's episode of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, we've got a heart-to-heart here. Let me just double check that I've saved beforehand. Next time on Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I think we're gonna wrap things up here after this heart-to-heart's completed. Next time on Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Next time on Xenoblade Definitive Edition, we're going to be heading back to the Reconstruction HQ and getting started on the actual repairs for the Colony 6 area. We've got a long way to go. Now to... So, until then, may you have a good day. Something up, Dunban? Losing your home. It is a painful experience, and not likely forgotten. The people of Colony 6 have had a rough time of it. Exactly. And we could have lost our homes to the Mechon just as easily. If it wasn't for you, though, me, I was as useful as a wolf cub. My ego needs no massaging. That ain't what I meant. We look up to you, Dunban. You're a bona fide hero. Just think of all that stuff you did at the Battle of Sword Valley. Some hero. But I appreciate the sentiment. I think you're getting things a bit mixed up, though. I didn't save Colony 9 when the Mechon attacked. Shulk did. Yep, sure did. I'll never forget that day as long as I live. Shulk wielding the Monado sent shivers down my spine. Yeah. He took to the cursed sword like flies to a brook. I ain't fair, I want to use it too. Right. Do you not realize what happens to that sword's wielder? No. What do you mean? Anyone who takes up that sword is likely to end up me. I only have one usable arm now. Are you ready to deal with such devastating consequences? Well, I don't know. I understand more than most. I too am envious of Shulk. I would be lying if I told you otherwise. Dunban, the Monado can only be used by Shulk. But there are things that only we are able to do. Really, what can I do that no one else can? Think of Shulk as the sword, and yourself as the shield. And I'm... got it. I can be Shulk's trusty steed. Right, what was I thinking? But I'm still happy I told you that. A problem shared is a problem halved. I knew I could talk to you, Dunban. Thanks. I honestly think of Dunban more as a spear than... Well, let's see how Dunban reacts when Reyn's a little more tactful in his response. The field of the Monado is quite like any other... The field of the Monado is unlike any other sword. I know that more than anyone. It is the true sword of a hero. No, that's not what I meant. I think about your arm, and about everything Shulk's been through. If I could stand in Shulk's place right now, I would, in a second. Such loyalty is to be admired. I don't get it. I mean, right, that your closeness to Shulk is a good thing. Never let that friendship die. Why so serious all of a sudden? You're not wrong though. Me and Shulk are good friends. Best friends. Still, there's no point in thinking about what ifs. The sword chooses its wielder. Maybe it was even lying in wait for him to come along. The time has passed for anyone but him to wield the sword. Yeah, I guess you're right. If you ask me, the current situation isn't too bad. Shulk knows all too well how much you care about him. Although he might not say it out loud. I guess. Well, if Shulk is the sword, I'll just have to be his shield. Now you're thinking along the right lines. It's all about how we support him. If it wasn't for Shulk... Indeed. Shulk taking the Monado in hand was a decisive moment. If he hadn't done that, he would probably have lost everything. It's a miracle that the Monado was in the colony at all. If it hadn't been, our homes would no doubt be piles of rubble now. Just like Colony 6. I think of those walking piles of scrap ruining our homes! God, it makes my blood boil! I find it hard to imagine living here in such danger as Charlotte did. Revenge kept her going. A natural reaction to such a thing. But can that be her only reason? Beats me. I just know that I'd be full of rage if it had been Colony 9. I suspect there's more to it. You see, Charla had orders to protect Juju and the others. And there was that gentleman. You mean Gatto, yeah? He's been waiting for him to return ever since we set out. That's what has kept her going, not revenge. I guess we really ain't so like, Charla and me. Cut yourself some slack. I think the two of you are quite well suited to each other. Me and Charlotte? What are you talking about? Anyway, why don't you help out with Colony 6's reconstruction? Not a bad idea. They could do with another helping hand. Hope kept her going. Hope? That is a rare thing amongst us Holmes of late. Charla has looked after that camp waiting for Gatto to return. That's what kept her going. The hope of rebuilding the colony together with him. You may be right. Sounds like you know a lot about Charla. She's strong, that woman. Stronger than I'll ever be. She's more fragile than she looks. It doesn't take much to break her will. But you could be the one to pick her back up again. What? Me? Now you're just talking crazy talk, Dunban. I just have a feeling about you. Just keep that thought in mind. changing the subject, why don't you help out with Colony 6's reconstruction? It could do with a helping hand from a genuine hero. When you put it that way, how can I refuse? Let's get to it, Reyn.